Hello everyone, I'm Philip Mann, the Technical Director at Kappler, and today I wanted to talk about what I would call live fire testing. Now Kappler conducts a tremendous amount of testing on our products, both here internally and we contract with independent third-party laboratories to do testing for us. And typically we will test our products, our garments, our fabrics, seams, against test methods that are written by either the ASTM, the American Society for Testing and Materials, or an ISO-based method or a European method. So these are prescribed testing methods that we use to test and evaluate our products. But on occasion, we have users that have situations where we can't test their particular hazard in the laboratory, and there's a variety of situations that can come up from time to time. For example, we had a customer who had a chemical that they were exposed to at 185 degrees Fahrenheit. And we could have tested that chemical. However, it was quite hazardous and it's difficult to be able to ship that chemical to one of those third-party laboratories. But that customer wanted that chemical tested at 185 degrees Fahrenheit, and the laboratories just did not have the capability of doing that. It was just not feasible. So we actually took some equipment and our fabrics and we went to that customer's plant and we devised a way to test and evaluate our fabric against the particular chemical hazard that they had. Again, this information is valuable for that customer and it's also valuable for us. The caveat is that we cannot publish that information or that data for other people to see and use, because our policy is we don't publish data that's not been conducted by an independent third-party laboratory. Another example we had was a customer that was being exposed to very high pressure and high temperature steam. And they were curious about how a particular hood we had would perform in that situation. And they were particularly interested in how the visor of the hood would perform. Now, we have conducted some steam testing on our fabrics, but the restrictions on that steam testing in the laboratory did not mimic the actual situation that these individuals were seeing in their facility. So we just provided them with a hood that they then conducted their own exposures of this very high pressure, high temperature steam against. And it performed well and they were quite satisfied. Again, an anecdotal test that's not being conducted in accordance with a particular ASTM or ISO method. We have another example that we're still trying to accomplish around a particular facility that uses chemicals that are called pyrophorics. And a pyrophoric, by definition, is a chemical that ignites and burns when it comes in contact with air. And they are very interested in our product and want to know how it will perform, and we certainly have no way of performing that test in the lab. We don't have any lab that would want to touch it. So if we can ever get the COVID issue behind us so that we can go visit those people, we again are going to go in and do some live fire testing for them to try to prove in that product for their particular exposure application. So again, what I would call live fire testing, sometimes you have to go outside the realm of the specified test methods. But we will do that for people. We've always had the policy of testing hazards for people when that information is not available for our products, and we certainly do in this situation as well. So just another example of how we continue to try to work in different ways to help keep bad stuff off people. I'm Philip Mann, the Technical Director at Kappler.